As we are about to sit down with Coach Mihai for episode 171, wanted to take a quick second here for those of you that maybe are looking at this Instagram reel or on YouTube. This mustache here is dirty. It's gray. It's going to be quite large by the end of this month. It is only November 4th, so we have a while to go, but there's a reason for it. And I want us to just take a moment. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at all the men that follow this show, that listen to this pod and support us. Um, from someone who is 48 years old, has a son turning 9 this month, married. I have my own baggage and I have my own things that I try to work through on a daily basis. And one thing I've learned over these years is the more vulnerable I am with myself and the more open and honest I am with my own personal struggles, um, the better off I am and the stronger person I am and the more I can serve others and the better I can be for everyone else. If we don't take care of ourselves as men and we continue to bury what's going on in our life and we don't talk to people about it, this is why we see suicide rates going up every year. This is why we see men struggling with substance abuse, anger issues, you name it. This is why we neglect our health because we don't know the reality. And I get it. I'm very guilty of this as well. But I'm trying to be better at it. And so this month is not just about growing a mustache and raising some money. It's also about reaching out to those people around you that you love and care for, or reaching out to yourself and taking care of yourself. What is it you need to be the best version of you and to know that you aren't alone and that it's okay to have struggles and to not hide from them, to not be embarrassed by them, but to work through them, to push through them, to fight through them, and to reach out when you need it. We're here for you. You've got more people in your corner than you probably realize, and we just want to make sure that that's the message. So, all the men out there, we love you. We appreciate you. Keep taking care of yourselves. Take care of those that are close to you. And happy Movember. If you do have a couple bucks, I'll attach the link here in this reel. It'd be an honor and a privilege. My team, Cinnamon and Oak, shout out to them. Just a bunch of guys across Canada. I believe we were the top team that wasn't, out of business, just a bunch of friends and guys that have met. Shout out to our leader and our captain, Mitch, just a great guy. He's just pushing the envelope all the time. And let's continue to take care of each other. Much love. And let's take you to episode 171. Okay, Carl, three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Hoops Journey, episode 171, approaching 6 years of podcasting, which is super dope. Um, we've got someone who I've been following, maybe he doesn't realize, the one of the OGs of Braveheart basketball, man. Shout out Braveheart. I was a YouTube follower from back in the day. I feel like I'm a day one with that stuff. A couple of guys who were kind of ahead of themselves with that platform and that. So it's, this story's going to go many different ways, but a gentleman from Cathedral High in Hamilton, shout out the Tiger Cats. All right. The
Uh,
current the current head coach of the Mohawk women's program. And one thing we were just saying offline is I was doing my research yesterday and looking, and what you're seeing is the win-loss column shifting as since this gentleman has been part of that program. Last year, they were able to win their first OCAA title since 1991, which for even me is a long time being an old head. So this gentleman also played at Coastal Carolina, Division One. And one thing that I found really interesting is he's well, we call it an I don't even can't even say the word adjunct professor at Canisius
yeah,
College. So I
yeah.
feel like there's going to be a lot of things that we're aligned with in terms of our philosophies and feelings and everything. But we have Mr. Mihai Raducanu today. How'd I do? Raducanu. Like
Wow,
I got
you're
nervous there. I
hired,
don't get
man.
nervous. I got nervous. I was going to say Chanu and it's Canu. How are you, man? Straight out of Romania. Let's go.
That's it. Straight out. We're here now, 30 years in, baby. 30 years in, and the
Right?
journey continues. We're just getting started. But thank you. Great intro. You made me sound way better than I look, you know?
Now,
And
speaking of how we look, I'm going to run a quick question at you that I want to get your thoughts on. I'm going to put you on the spot. This
yeah,
this handlebar stash is for Movember. It's a something that's very near and dear to me, and I've been been doing raising funds for, I think it's my 12th year now, part of a big team in Canada. So as a man, a young man with family and lots of stress and juggling many different balancing plates. You're going to daughters volleyball to coaching to whatever it is, the people you're trying to interact with. What do you do for your personal and mental health and physical health, so that you're at, peak performance for you? And that, one thing I'm realizing is as I get older is like, if I don't take care of myself, then I can't offer everybody else what I can offer at my best, right? So I'm going to put you on the spot right off the bat here and just ask you what you do for yourself.
Yeah, definitely not the spot. It's my life. It's how I live my life, and I share with you, Aaron, the if I'm not at my best, I can't be a good husband, I can't be a good father, and I can't be a good coach or good for any of my friends. And my morning's the most important thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a routine that I wake up before anybody else. Most days it's 4 a.m.
Okay.
I'm up and I have a 90-minute Mihai session every morning for probably the last, I'd say, 6 to 8 years. It varied at times, but I've done a lot of studying and self-introspect. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge meditator, so I meditate every morning. I sit in the dark, I sit in the silence, I move my body. That's something that at 45 years old, I can still run and jump and dunk on people all day. So it's good. And I read, I listen to two books
Yep.
every morning. It's 15 minutes each. And just stretch and move my body how it needs to, depending on, like tonight I'm hooping. So tomorrow morning will be a different movement than this morning was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do every single morning. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter where I'm at in the world. I take care of my shit so I can be really good for the rest of the day.
Love that.
Mhm.
Why did you decide to start doing that? I mean, it's fantastic, and I find like now you're making me go, okay, because my wife's always like, why do you set the alarm so early? Now I'm going to set it even earlier, and now the competitive juices are flowing a little bit. Being
Oh
a
boy.
PE teacher, I have time here. I did my kind of hit workout and did some meditation this morning too, but it's, in the chaos of school, I like that quiet space. But why did you turn that on for yourself? Being an athlete, a former athlete, a current athlete, but kind of high level athlete, it sounds like there was a gap in time there. Why all of a sudden did that click for you?
Couldn't figure out what made me click. Couldn't figure
Mm,
out what was making me go. And all these things I've adopted along the way. I would move.
mm,
I would meditate. I started meditating 11 years ago. My dear friend Dana John Heimbecker introduced me to meditation in 2014, and I haven't stopped since. I do
mm,
it most days, twice a day, but religiously once a day. And I found that it helps. And then you read the science and you read what it does for you. And as soon as you hit 100 hours of meditation, you feel it. You start feeling
mm,
life changing and life evolving for you. So that's one reason I do it all the time. It puts me in a good space. I do a lot of things throughout the day, just like you. And a lot of people depend on my brain. A lot of people
mm,
depend on me helping them. And a lot of things happen because I'm so tuned in.
mm.
And when you're not tuned in, you can bring the best forward. So there wasn't really a gap. It just took a while. I did a sleep study during COVID to see what I can do. I've been vegan for 9 years, 6'9", 275, powered by
Yeah.
plants. And
Yeah.
I just like to feel good, man. I just like to
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Love it. Thank you for that reflection.
No
He's
problem.
talking about your day to day. How are things? Season's underway. Like you said offline here, you feel like once August hits for you, it's pretty much go time. So how's the day to day and how's the grind and how are we feeling about the team so far and how season is?
Yeah, the data, there's no grind. We look at it, I look at it as, you know what, it's steps and it's that journey towards getting to a good place in March. You
Mm,
played, you coach, you understand.
hmm
We have 16 girls. We have 14 that can play right now. Two of them will be eligible in January from injury. And for me and my assistant coaches who are amazing,
mm,
the things that we're dealing with right now is to see the weapons. What are all the weapons? How can the weapons work together? Where can we push? Where can we back off? Where do we need to elevate? Do we need skill work? Do we need teamwork? Do we need to just chill and talk to each other? So we're navigating all those things on a daily basis. We're 3-0 in the conference right now. We have some tough games coming up this week. Friday, Saturday, and then really 5 tough games this month to end the first half of the season. It's good. The work is good. I get to work at Mohawk College, which is amazing. I get to fundraise for Mohawk College athletics, which is also amazing. And I can tell you more about that. But
Mm.
my day to day is really, really, really focused. If and I never like to say I'm busy, because if you're busy, you don't get to do the stuff that you want to do.
Mm.
So I read this John Maxwell thing way back in the day, and he said, "You're full. You like to be full." So I'm
Mm.
full every day, but that means I get to do the things that I want to do, such as my morning, such
Yep.
as after this call, I go and blast the workout somewhere outdoors, and
Yep.
I'm full. It's a lot, but it's really, really good because we get to
Hmm.
impact. I get to impact every single day, which is, the beauty of that as an educator and coach.
Yeah, for sure, man. Love the perspective. I saw a great Instagram one the other day. It was what a privilege to be overwhelmed by the life I've always wanted. You know what I mean? And I think we get caught up in,
Yeah.
like you say, I'm busy, I don't have time for these things, but it's like it's a privilege to be busy and to be caught up in all the stuff that are feeding your bucket. So it's amazing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back. Let's talk about young Mihai, man. You already mentioned, you know, immigrant family, sort of talk about yourself as a young guy, and just sort of like when you're little ish, how did basketball start to become something that was, that you were drawn to, other than obviously whenever the growth spurt hit? But talk about yourself as a young guy a little bit. Give the listeners an
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, always a big kid. Always a big kid. Growing up in communist Romania was always, it was a different experience.
Hmm.
And then when I was about 10 years old, the revolution happened and the whole communist overthrow, Ceausescu, the thing. But that's when basketball started for me. My mom played hoops. My
Nice.
dad was a track and field guy, but my mom was a hoop player, and she said, "Go try it." And I went to try it, and it was in Romania. It was a club called Universitatea Cluj, and there was a bunch of guys there that could ball, and I learned. George Muresan, fun fact, another
Hey,
big 7'7". We're on the
of
same
course.
club, same team. So
Ah,
he was with the older guys, but same club. We
sure.
were like, the European model, and I loved it. I loved it, and I took to it, and I loved the camaraderie. I liked jumping, I liked dunking, I liked hitting people. And then we moved to Canada when I was 15. So I finished grade 9 in Romania
Hmm.
and came over here by total chance. Total chance. I ended up in Hamilton, ended
Mm.
up at Cathedral High School, and you can't make that up, but it's
Mm.
true. It's true. And when I got there, Coach Mark Walton, which I'm sure you're familiar with, but if you're
Mm.
not, you should be. But he took a hold of me, and he came into my life as this guru of
Mm.
basketball, the person that wanted me to be better than I wanted to be at the time. But he taught me the work ethic, and he
Mm.
taught me to get in the gym before and stay in the gym after. He taught me, what are your attributes? Well, you're long, athletic, you can run, you can jump, so let's use them, right? You're not that smart yet, you can't speak English yet that well, but do what we tell you and hit people, and you're gonna be okay. And that trend, and that develops, right? And that gets
Sure.
better, and then you go to my last year playing with Kyle Julius when we're, a former podcast guest of yours, right? And
Yes, sir.
me and KJ, it wasn't really foreign to put in the work. We're
Mm.
the only two guys in the gym in the summertime. We're going to the YMCA and outdoor courts, and we're getting after it. So all of that led to where we are today, and it's the same teaching that I put on my team at Mohawk, that you gotta put in the work every single damn day with a purpose. With a
Hmm.
purpose.
And so where did that come from for you as a young guy? Was it just witnessing parents that were vulnerable enough to move you across the water to for a better life? And then how do you be 15 years old, not knowing the language and be confident other than just being big and hitting people? Like that's a lot to go through. It's a lot to move from Ontario to Alberta when you're 15, let alone what you did. Where did those kind of skills I mean, you've obviously been practicing them and researching them in your adult life, but it seems like maybe there was a little bit kind of early on for you there.
It was early on, and it was foreign, but it was new. So I think my acceptance of a new culture. I was excited
Mm.
to be in Canada. I didn't come
Mm.
to Canada to hang out with Romanian people. I didn't come to Canada to hang out with the same people that I
Sure.
left. And, I thought that was the way. And then as soon as I learned more about, you can get an education. It's not like the pro systems in Europe, but you can go and get an education. Some people might pay for it. And all you have to do is show up to practice and work hard. And if you
Mm-hmm.
get in a game, perform. So that I really like that. But Coach Walton in high school really, really instilled the work ethic in us, right? The being in shape, the making sure that you understand the game, the making sure that you work on your skill sets. It was hook shot after hook shot after hook shot after hook shot, right? Left hand, right hand. Um, so I thought that was standard. I played through the system, all the provincial stuff, junior national team stint, and then scholarship to Coastal Carolina. And I happened to play for Pete Strickland, who was a huge skill development coach at the time, and his young assistant, who was Gannon Baker. So you're familiar with Gannon Baker
Of
basketball. So
course.
I mean, that's where I landed in college. So there was no
Mm.
option of not doing individuals, of not doing extra work, of not jumping rope, of not getting in the weight room. So it never left me, man. It's
Mm.
never left me. It's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, in those, those really important years of high school, did you play any other sports or was basketball your thing? And then when did you realize, was it your high school coach kind of telling you, hey, you can move on with this? Or did you start to have the light bulb click in and realize, hey, I can, like you talked about it, realizing you could, but how did you know it was like, I'm actually kind of pretty good at this, Like
Yeah.
when did that
I
click for you?
uh, First year of
Yeah.
college, it hit walk in the hallways
Yeah.
at Coastal Carolina with
Okay.
Matt Gladio. He was a
Yeah.
senior, transfer senior, and he put his arm around me and he said, 5 years ago, when you were in Romania, would you have
Yeah.
ever thought you would be here? And that's when it hit me. That's when I was like, let me reflect. Let me
Hmm.
see, what did I think back then? And no, not in my wildest dreams, because I never even knew what this system of college basketball was. Never
Hmm.
mind seeing myself play here. In high school, we were so focused on being a good team. We're so focused on hanging out with our teammates, and we're so focused on helping each other just be great humans. And we did everything together. I don't know if KJ talked about it too much with you offline, but that was our thing in high school. Like we were like this, and
Hmm.
16 guys, 15 of us played post-secondary basketball, which is pretty huge.
Sheesh.
Seven of us were NCAA. Three of us were on the junior national team. So it was a powerhouse high school. So there was nothing else that we did. It's actually a lesson. And at any point in time, if I talk too much, just cut me off. But
Keep going,
it,
man.
it's actually a lesson for my kids. My son's 14, my daughter's 16, and that's why they're getting to the point where they're friends, right? They're not playing their sport and they're playing high
Mm.
performance sports. They're realizing that their friends are their teammates because you have the same mindset and the same approach to everything that you do. So for me, Coach Walton started it with our culture in high school, and that
Yep.
culture carried through college. And when I got there, I realized that wait, people are really trying hard to get here.
Hmm.
Um, I just got here based. I thought it was purely on talent, and because I was averaging 4 dunks a game, and that was big. But
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the magnitude of it, to be honest with you, until that
Yeah.
first year. And then I was like, wait, shit, I better make the most of this. I better really, really, understand why I'm here and what happens here in this ecosystem. And that's when the realization came that I actually
Yeah.
can play.
And what was the recruiting process like for you? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, sort of just teammate putting his arm around you. Matt's like, yo, here we go. But like, what were there other schools? Like, where did you get that most interest? Was it through your high school coach kind of, getting probably VHS out for you? But, you know what I mean? Like, and then
Yeah.
just being a young Romanian kid, kind of like in this culture now, what that process can be overwhelming at the best of times?
Yeah, and I know that there's been some wars and the wars in BC between Pasha and some other guys, and I've seen you chip in there, but about people going to the States or not going to the
Hmm.
States. I was thankful that the culture was good at Cathedral. So Coach Walton took us to states into tournaments in the States. He made sure that we played in the U.S. He made sure that he brought coaches up here because one of his mentors was Morgan Wooten from the
Mm,
Mata High School, right? So he knew the system and he understood the U.S. growth mentality of coaches. So
yeah.
coaches kept coming up. The recruiting process for me was very, very fucking overwhelming because I was so fresh, right? And
Yeah.
you have people at that time, they're calling you. There's nothing else. They're calling your phone. And I had probably, I don't know, 100, 150 schools interested in me at that time. I still have the binder full of notes. And I
Yeah.
received scholarship offers from, I can't even tell you how many, like 50 of them.
Yeah.
And then coach helped me. Coach helped me narrow it down. Let's look at school. Let's look at distance. Let's look at, are you going to play there? Are you able to play there? Is your body actually good enough to play at that level? Are they recruiting other guys? Where are they? So that was his coaching and his teaching. And I thought
Mhm.
every player in this country got that kind of mentorship. I was so wrong. I was so wrong when I got into coaching. But that's how it started. The process was good. I narrowed it down to five.
Mhm.
I remember Boston U was a top choice. University of Maine was a top choice. Florida Atlantic was a top choice. Tony Durant was down there, and then Furman was a top choice because KJ was there. He was a year
Yeah.
older than me, so KJ went there before me. And then
Mhm.
Coastal Carolina, and I went to visit Florida Atlantic, and my host, our Canadian brother,
Mhm.
said, "Don't do it." And
Mhm.
I'm glad I didn't because they got done for NCAA violations right away after that
Mhm.
year. Coastal Carolina, I loved. I totally loved. I loved everything about it. The coaches, the atmosphere, the campus, the beach. The beach was huge. And then I came home and I remember telling Coach Walton, Coach, I don't want to go to the other schools to visit. I just want to go here. I really liked it. He said, if that's what you like, go ahead. And I called the other coaches, and Boston U said, good. We just signed the 7-footer. We're going to tell you we don't need you. Right.
Yeah.
University of
Yeah.
Maine, Coach Giannini was there. And if you remember him, he did a great job at La Salle in the last few
Oh, okay.
years.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll never see you again. But me and KJ coached one of his kids with the Mississauga 905. So I did see him again. And then Furman, KJ just said, don't do it. This guy's fucking crazy. Don't come here. So I ended up going to Coastal Carolina, which was good.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, but those are real stories about and
Yeah.
and one thing you've touched on many times already is the ability to use the people around you in a good way for support, right? And your high school coach was someone who was invested in you from the get-go, so there was trust there, and someone that you felt like was really looking out for your best interest. And then why wouldn't you ask KJ or these other people how has your experience been as opposed to making the choice on your own, right? And I think sometimes
Yeah.
we can get maybe stuck with that a little bit or think we know best, especially when we're young and a little hard-headed,
Yeah.
and so using those resources we have is vital throughout our entire lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. The power of the people and understanding who you are. I've learned that over the years. That's the
Hmm.
biggest piece. And I don't know if you want me to get into that now, but to me,
Hmm.
that's the greatest discovery, and that's probably the greatest lesson that I've been trying to spread via my coaching from the early days of No Limit Performance. Well, never mind. We're A game hoops with KJ in the Guelph area, and then No Limit Performance, and then just the global coaching that I've been
Yeah.
doing and coaching here. That's my own kids. That's the only lesson that I start with. Know
Hmm.
yourself, understand yourself, and then everything else makes sense. But if you're trying to force things, then you'll never ever be happy or satisfied with your choices because they're fake. They're not real. They don't root into you. They don't root into who you are. So
Oh,
that's
you're
that's
absolutely
that's
correct.
that's key to me. But I can go on for a couple hours on that. So
Yeah, of course, of
but
course. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, don't worry about that. You just keep going with it. It's very true. And I think in this, you said you have 14 and 16-year-old just in your house every day, let alone other people that you're working with, and all the things that are out there. Then we didn't have a lot to compare to, right? You know what I mean? Like
No.
you didn't know unless you played against them on the provincial team who maybe the best player in Alberta or BC was. You may have heard about them through something or read an article, but other than that, there was none of that. And so not in, even just in a sports way, but just in a life way, they have so many things they're constantly comparing themselves to, and it's draining and it's difficult, right? And
Yeah.
knowing your true self and working hard on yourself and being grounded in your values and who you are, the sooner you can figure that out, then it just sort of, and it doesn't mean you're not going to screw up. Doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
We're all going to screw up and be like, it doesn't mean you don't have values and a moral system anymore. Just means the
No.
next time it comes up, maybe you'll make a better choice. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it. I live my life by five pillars. My wife does, my kids do. I bring it to my players and I bring it to anybody I'm in contact with because I believe it's important. And Gannon Baker and myself, we're going back and forth one day, and I was like, "Listen, man, it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's relational development," and then he threw in the spiritual, and that's the development that everybody needs, right? So understand yourself where you are physically, where you are mentally, emotionally, relationally, spiritually. Where are you right now? And then where do you want to go? So I'm 6'9", I'm athletic. I need to be faster. I need to be stronger. Cool. How are you going to get there? Who's taking you there? Right. And then you do the same thing for your mind. My mind's a mess. All right. What's the mess mean? Is it unorganized? You need to close some drawers, or do you need a complete rehaul? And how are you going to do it? Emotionally, relationally, right? And spiritually, I don't do religion, but I do meditation. I check in, and
Yeah,
that's my
absolutely.
religion. I check in with myself, and I want to make sure I'm a good human every single day. And that's how we check in. My kids check in that way, and that way you kind of have a compass for your life every day to make sure that you're doing the right shit. Because our attention, man, a lot of people can steal it. There's a lot of attention stealers. There's a lot of time stealers. There's a lot of things that can distract you that look like you're benefiting from them, but you're not. And it's easy to be kind of taken with the wind and flow if you're not rooted deep inside. And when you're rooted, your decisions become very, very, very meaningful. And I think your actions follow, and then everything that you seek from people will just build you up to get to where you want to go. And yes, you adjust, you take turns, you get off a train, you might hop on a different train. You might let some people in, you might kick some people out. Some people might be in that in between zone, right? But
Yeah.
you have to know who you are to manage all that. Otherwise, it's game over. You're just existing.
You've listened to a couple episodes, I assume. So, as we
Yeah.
like to say, even though you're not a quote unquote religious guy, it's church on a Tuesday, my friend. Let's go. I love it. I could take that
Thank
all
you.
day. Also,
Thank
holy
you.
shit,
Thank you.
man, your mitts. This I don't know if it's the Zoom, the size of your mitts, dude. You just
Yeah.
like
Well, we're the
you giving
same
them the
size,
Jordan
no?
treatment. Just
We're
yeah, let's go. Yeah.
we're the same size.
I'm
No,
like
you're a
six
big
four ish.
dude.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 6'4" ish, man. You got me, man. Like Scott Morrison, he was like, when finally met in person, he was like, dude, I thought you were like 6'8", 6'9". I was like, well, you just keep thinking that and don't let the people know. But
Yeah. Yeah, I get
um,
that.
love
I
it.
thought you were my
So
size. I thought
quickly,
we're the same.
let's, I don't want to fly over your, mm-hmm. There you go. I'm not afraid though. I'll get down there and try to give you the business in the low block though. I got a little meat hook. Don't worry about it.
I would love it. I would love it.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm here. But you keep freezing. Is it? I'm trying to see.
Here, I think the
I'm trying to see.
Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah. No, it's
Mine's
me.
good. Okay.
I think it's me. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to see this face for on freeze for very long. That's not a good look. Just gonna to make a note here. God, 30 minutes mark, frozen. Okay, Carl, just a little internet freeze there. Three, two, one. I don't want to fly by your career, your post-secondary career, but someone who's got into the coaching realm, and whether it be in skills, whether it be in teams, like whether it be the mind and spirit, like covering lots of things, what were the things that stood out most to you when you went to that Division 1 level? Because you came from a very dominant, strong, I mean, I can only imagine what practices were like in high school. So it's not like you went from just you and KJ dominating every practice. Sounds like there were some other dogs on that team, and it was a battle. But when you moved on to post secondary, what were the things that stood out to you where you're like, whoa, okay, I've got my five things and I need to get better here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Number one was they're all just as good, if not better than you. Everybody was just as good, if not better than me. And there's no easy dunks. There's no top dogs. There's no jumping over people. There's no going through people. There's no easy blocks on anybody, coming in the lane. The screens you actually really have to hit and hold harder. And just the physicality of it all those are wake up calls. I remember I'll never forget this, man. I played my first university game. I started and we played George Mason, Jesse Young. You know the name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So me and Jesse were on the junior national team together, and then we got to play against each other, which was so cool.
yeah.
But he's at George Mason. They have this 28-year-old, 6'7" ex-US Marine guy starting at the center.
Okay. I have a
And I
visual. I have
remember,
a visual in my head. Yeah.
right, like just
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was 190, like I was skinny.
Yeah.
And I remember his point guard saying, "Yo, Nate, sit on him." And
Yeah.
I was like, "What's this guy? What's that mean?"
Yeah.
So he literally sat on my leg. He spun, went the other way, caught a lob, dunked on me. I couldn't feel. I was numb here. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. I couldn't feel it. And he
Yeah.
said, "Welcome to college basketball, big fella." And that was it. That's how I got welcomed to the NCAA. So I was like, "Fuck! I gotta get in the weight room." It was wild. It was wild, and then that was it. Then I got in the weight room, and you start doing the work, and then you realizing that you're nothing. You're just a number.
Hmm.
They can recruit over you. They can play guys over you. You have no clout. You have no leverage. It's a business, and now it's more than ever. But like back then, right? It's a coach is not messing with his daily bread. He's not
Hmm.
messing with his salaries to give you a chance. You
Hmm.
got to actually perform. So for you to perform, for me, it was get stronger, get in the weight room, and then understand the game at that pace, at that level, where everybody can do everything at all times. And I had a great coaching staff and great teammates and a great strength and conditioning guy that was able to put weight on me and keep me going and make me be effective.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Um, During your career, what are we thinking about? We get to those junior, senior years. What's the next phase for you? When do we realize maybe basketball we're shifting from it? Like what's the mental process for there? You obviously seem like you're a thinker, but in a good way. Like you're not an overthinker, but you're thinking about the whole prospect of it all, and what that looks like as D1 and that career starts to come to a close for you.
Yeah, I wish I was as switched on and as brainy as I am now back
Mm,
then,
mm,
but I wasn't. I wish I knew more about the game at the next level, but I didn't. And I think those things allowed me to just kind of dabble
mm,
into a pro career or dabble into trying to play at the next level, dabble into getting a job in the US. I really wasn't aware. And that's one of the biggest light bulbs that went off in my brain when I was 32 was wait, you're in charge. You don't need to just go with the flow of life. You don't need to just do what everybody else is doing. You got to research and you got to figure out what's out there. The world's a big place, and see what suits you. So I didn't know much. I did sign with an agency. I did have a contract offer in Germany from our boy Mike Taylor, which you're familiar with probably.
Yes. Yeah.
So Mike was just getting started with the Pro B or C team in Germany, Chemnitz. Um, and yeah, that was it. But I couldn't go. I broke my ankle playing, getting warm, like getting better. So really came back to Canada, man. Came back to Canada and started working. I didn't know what to do. I had
Mhm.
no idea what to do, Aaron. I was so lost, man. I had 2 degrees, business marketing, business management. Back in Canada, no jobs. So Coach Walton to the rescue. Coach Walton
Hey.
said, "Hey, I'll teach you how to build decks and fences. You can make some money." I was like, "That sounds great." So
In the Hamilton Heat. Let's go.
the Hamilton Heat, I was a
Mhm.
great $10 an hour apprentice for him.
For
He
all those
loved it.
listening, he said $10. For all you
Yeah,
worried about minimum wage, $10, physical labor. Let's go.
cash. And once a week he would slide me 50 to fill my tank,
There you
you
go.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. And then, um, wasn't sure what to do. Wasn't sure what to do. And guess what? Hoops came to the rescue. So I jumped into a pickup basketball game and I got to know some guys. And then I got invited to play in a tournament. And these guys showed up on a Sunday in full suits. And I'm like, "What do you guys go to church?" And they're like, "No,
Yeah.
we're cops." And I said, "Oh, you're
Oh,
cops. Oh, cool." And those guys, you probably know Brian Bleach. That's a name that
mhm.
you probably would know. But anyway, they're cops, basketball cops.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Do you ever think about being a cop?" So next thing you know, I was a cop for 6.5 years. I was a cop for 6.5 years in Niagara. That was my first job in Canada. And well, after a couple little stints, but that was my
Sure.
first real job. And um, wild. And that's where the story gets good. That's where the
Mhm.
story gets good. And that's where one of the guys I work with said, "Hey, you played high level hoops. My kid's in grade 7. Can you help him?"
Mm.
So this is my favorite part of it all because I'm 27 years old. I just became a police officer. Most people would say I won the lottery, you know?
Yeah.
But this kid needed me in his driveway. So I show up, typical coach, tucked in, printed sheet in my shorts, and I get him better, and I get him better, and he understands. So he's like, "Okay, when's next? When's the next session?" So I said, "Well, tomorrow." I don't know. And I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do tomorrow?" I
Yeah.
have no idea. I just gave him all my drills. I have no other drills.
Gave him the whole
I'm like,
encyclopedia on day one. Yeah, you're like, I didn't think there'd be a day two.
that was it. That
That's
was it.
awesome.
So pick up the phone. Gannon Baker, what's going on, Gannon Baker? I know that you're with Kobe and with LeBron and Nike, and you're the guy. You started skill training, but can you help me? Can you help me out? And Gannon Baker sent me a box of DVDs,
Yes.
sent me a book, and called me. And he said, "You got all that? Start watching, start taking notes, start learning the game, start learning skill progression, start learning how to teach, start learning how to articulate, start learning how to get the best out of people." And that's how it all started in
Hmm.
2008. This was August 23rd, 2008.
Well, he knows the date.
And yeah, because I still have that practice saved, believe it or not,
Yeah.
in my documents. And I'm super organized, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Oh, we picked up
yeah.
on that. We picked up on that. Yeah.
So that's where it started. That's where it all
Hmm.
started. And then the life has not been the same ever since. And here we are sitting, 17 years
Years
later,
later.
and I'm still learning every single day. And I get to impact through this game. And when I was 15 and I arrived in Canada and I arrived at Cathedral, and, I had to translate from a dictionary to talk to Coach Walton on the phone. And he'll tell you the story that he thought he was a 70-year-old a drunk man playing a joke on him when I called him. That's what he thought it was.
The old prank call, like back in
The
the
old
day.
prank
Yeah,
call.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But and it's, man, it's still bouncing, this thing. It's bouncing, and it's bouncing
hmm
better than ever. And it's got more juice than ever, because every pass, everything that I dish out, it's got years of knowledge and experience. And the people on your podcast, the 170 before me, a lot of those guys are inspiration for me. A lot of those guys I've known throughout the years. A lot of those guys I've looked up to. Some of them don't even know I know, look up to them.
hmm
But you know, people in your the guest list, have impacted my life, and it allows me to continue to push forward and just recycle information, put a little spin on it, give it out. I don't make up anything. There's nothing Mihai. It's all information from
Sure.
people that have done it better than me, that are better than me, achieve more. And I'm just looking to do my piece to spread the knowledge of this game, and some life into these kids, you know?
Love it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
When Gannon sends you all that stuff and you get all
Yeah.
that, when you're going through it, you're processing it. If you can recall, was there like a section or part of it, like you talked about progression or, skill teaching, whatever? Was there a part where you're like, oh God, I don't know if I can do that? Like there's self-doubt has to kick in and probably has kicked in many times in your life, but that's overwhelming to think just getting that box of DVDs. Love the DVD reference too, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, were any of them the championship coaching ones? I can't remember. I used to order them. We had the
Yeah.
subscription.
Those were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Um,
were in there.
was there a part or what was the part as a coach where you were like, oh man, this is going to be a grind for me?
Demo.
Mm,
Demoing.
mm,
6'9", never handled the ball, never put the ball between my legs,
mm,
never worked on my handle, never really worked. I mean, my passes, it's like low post, kicks, skips, corner, like not much.
yeah.
Um, that was the hardest. And I would practice in my basement. I would practice everything. I go to gym early. Okay, what do we have for today? Okay, Aaron Mitchell's coming in. He needs one, two, three. Cool. How do I demo it? I better practice it. So I actually got so much better at basketball by teaching myself how to teach basketball. And I have a pretty good handle now. At
Yeah. Yeah.
45 years old, my handle is nice. But that was the most doubting thing, to be able
Mm,
to teach with the flow that G-Bake was teaching, to be able to have the charisma, which I know I have it, but it took me a while to figure it out.
mm,
And to be able to be so comfortable showing, demoing, whatever that was. I wasn't shooting, I was a hook shot guy, right? And
yeah.
and showing all that and be convincing to the person you're training that you know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're not wearing flip-flops and long pants and backwards hat, and there's no filming and there's no audience and there's no crew, like all these yo-yos have nowadays, right? But yeah, none of that. It was just pure basketball, pure teaching the game. I know you can cut that out, but
Mm,
it's true. It's not.
no,
It's true.
I'm not cutting that out, man. No,
Yeah,
no, it's
it's the
true.
truth.
It's a
Yeah.
wild world right now.
Hmm.
It's unhealthy. There are yo-yos everywhere. And let's just roll with it, man. I'm down because
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna get called old heads or whatever, but it's so true the amount of stuff that you and other people have done that are not out there, but somehow some parent thinks spending X amount of dollars with this guy is so much better because it's clipped up and it's looks great, even though you don't get any idea what that substance is in 41 seconds on a reel, right? It's such a
It,
wild world we're in, man.
it's wild. And I'm not in my office. I'm at my friend's office is here.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about it, and all these things, right? The shiny objects and the things that these trainers nowadays do. We're talking about that, and I said I won a championship last year with my team,
Hmm.
and the things that won us a championship is playing hard defense,
hmm
taking a hit, boxing people out, getting a rebound, setting a good screen, and being a good fucking teammate. Like
Yeah.
that's what won us a championship. Nothing else. No,
Yeah.
no 92 dribbles between the legs, and no bags, and no backwards hats, and no
hmm
not none of that won a championship, and
Hmm.
it's never going to win the championship. I get that the skill set change. I
Yep.
get that the game changes. I love it. I love it. I love that there's guys our size being shooting guards and point
Yeah.
guards and running the show. I love it more than anything.
Yep.
But I don't love when the line gets blurred between teaching hoops and entertainment. And
Hmm.
the only thing that blurs that line is always going to be money, right? That's where the line gets blurred, right? So when you're teaching pure basketball, when you're teaching people how to play defense, how to take a hit, how to set a screen, how to muscle their way through instead of avoiding contact, you're always going to be able to teach life with it because it requires toughness, because it requires you to do something that on a daily basis you don't do. On a daily basis, nobody challenges your strength. On a daily basis, nobody challenges your physicality. On a daily basis, nobody says, I'm going to race you. See if you can beat me. See if I can beat you. It doesn't happen. So people don't do it because it's not common. People don't do it because it's not something that we do on a daily basis in life. Plus, we banned fucking schoolyard fights, man. We don't even let these kids punch each other out once in a while, right? So then there's no toughness. And I know you work in high school, so you know, right? But then you go to the entertainment side, which I'm all for it. Just label it as an entertainment. Listen, you come in my gym, you get filmed, you get put on social media because I'm trying to get followers so I can get paid, so I can get a job, so I can get an analyst job, whatever that is. And it's all good. But don't tell me and don't tell my kids that what you're doing is teaching basketball because it's not. You're just running a business that's based on entertainment, which is cool. But it's not labeled it as we're teaching sports. We're not teaching the right way, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I agree, man. Yeah, talk to him.
So,
I say less. You framed it so
yeah.
well. And I think one thing as a coach that I've realized, and even thinking back to the teams where we had successful seasons, the last thing you talked about being a good teammate, and you mentioned right at the start of the episode just about, we're working on this, we're working on that. Do we need to put the balls away and just talk and talk about where we're at, right? Because those are the things like if you're 11th, 12th, 14th girl don't care about the team, you're not going to be able to succeed. It's just facts. It doesn't matter how skilled 1, 2, and 3 are, right? It doesn't matter how much talent they have. If those girls can't show up every day to push that team and be better and understand that coach cares about me, coach appreciates me where I'm at, maybe I'm not happy with the playing time I have, right? If they can't continue to show up, then the season's done. And I think, like you say, you didn't mention anything even about triangle and two or box and one. It's like it still comes down to the
Yeah.
foundation that is the OG of basketball, right? And so you put that so eloquently, man. That's so well said. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I share my mantra, our
Please
mantra that
do.
we have?
Yeah. I'm all over this. We
We
call them core covenants here.
okay.
So we
Okay.
have like kind
Gotcha.
of a call, but then we as a with each season we pick out what our core covenants are going to be as a team. So a guy named Bruce
Okay.
Brown, you should look at him. He's a long time.
Okay.
He's been a coach up here in the Pacific Northwest, but he's done track, basketball. He's worked with NFL. Like he's really, really good. So, anyways,
Okay.
I figure
Yeah. Cool.
you probably
Very
go check
cool.
him out. So I figured I'd just
I
shout him
will. I
out.
will.
Yeah,
Thank you. You know I will. You
yeah,
know me.
I
You
know you
know me
will.
already. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a fiend for information
yeah. But
and
please
using the
share.
information. So we came up with it last year, and the girls, we're very. I believe that our culture makes us who we are. I believe our culture fuels us, and if you speak to my 16 players, my 16 girls, you will never be able to tell who's first team all star and who
Ah,
barely plays. You will not be able to tell. I put you in a room with them, you can't tell because
love
they all
that.
love this team so much. And our mantra is simple: love,
Mm,
love each other each and every day, no matter
hmm
what. Just
hmm
love each other, be there for each other, support each other. It doesn't matter what it is.
hmm
2, positivity. You can deliver everything with a positive spin, and you can spin anything into being a positive, no matter how ugly, bad it is. Something can be spun out of it to be positive. 3, which is our favorite and the girls' favorite, is analyze, don't criticize. Right? Analyze, don't criticize. Big man, you could have been in that corner. You didn't see me in that corner, right? You should have got that rebound. Get that rebound next time. But you can deliver it in a different way. It's like, hey, if you go to the corner, I can see you. It gives us that one more. If you get that board, you can start the break and we can get up there faster. So you can analyze and not criticize. And then the last thing that is in our mod chart, it's written down, is win. We got to win. If you're going to do all this work, you got to win. And the girls believe in it. The girls love it. We do a lot of exercises to understand each other. And I think I'm very open. Our assistants are very open. The culture is open. I don't know everything, and I need everybody to help me lead this ship. I know I'm the head coach, but there's no way I can lead on my own. So because we're open, the girls say whatever they want. And when they say whatever they want and they bring solutions, right? Like, you can come at me. It's all good. I'll take it. You come at me, like, you know what? Screw you, Mihai. This doesn't work. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What works? Right? And they're really good at that. They're really good at saying, hey, this doesn't work, but this works. We don't like this, but we like this. We like more of this. Can you do more of this? We like that. And the openness helps us. And we help each other be open. At the beginning of the season, we sit and we have that talk. It's an hour, 2 hours. And we all talk about how we like to receive information. And we all talk about how we like to give information. So I give it straight, direct, to the point, with a lot of love. I like to receive it just like that. You can remove the love. I grew up in communism, so I'm good, right? But I like it direct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some people want to be whispered to. Some people want to be spoken in the crowd. I have a player that, you won't believe this, but I'm going to tell you. I have a player, first team all conference, double machine, and she says, "I need you to yell at me. I chill out there. I sometimes chill. I'm sometimes loafy. I need you to yell at me like my Jamaican dad yells at me, you know?" And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, really? So I got to make it up, Aaron. I got to make this
Yeah.
shit up,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
my assistant will tap me and he'll be like, she needs a yell. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I pump myself up and I'm like, give her a shout. And I turn to the bench and I'm like, how was that?
How
Did I
was it?
do
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
So all the girls
Yeah.
like, that was good. That was good. Right. So some people need that, but you got to
Yeah.
learn that so that you can be a good team. And we have a rule: heat of the moment, it's gonna come out no matter what. It might not be the way you like it. Just take it.
Mm.
We can deal with it later.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's what makes our team click, buy in, be successful. And we haven't done anything yet. I mean, yes,
Sure.
we have,
Yes.
but we haven't. Like, I'm not.
Yes.
We're fresh, we're young, we're building, but we're looking to continue to be in the top of the OCAA, to be a top team in the country, and show these young women what it's like. And the attraction is the culture. We have 5 transfers this year.
Yep.
One from out near you,
I saw that.
Catalano.
Port Moody.
Yeah,
Port Moody.
yeah.
Yeah. Saw that.
She's
Yeah.
she's great,
Yeah.
great pickup for us. And I asked her, I said, why us? Why do you want to come across the country?
Yeah.
And she said, there's something about your culture that I feel. There's something that I can see. There's something that it's real.
Mm.
And I feel that you can get people better. You can get people better at basketball, and I want to win.
Mm.
You know what? If that's what you feel from across the country, you're right. So you
Yeah.
can come. You're allowed to come,
Love it. So
And
good.
yeah,
Really come like a lot of that you're describing too. And it's an easy word to say, but it's really challenging because you've described all the different things you have to do to make it happen is yes, culture, but just relationships, right? And just also recognizing that how we were coached, like the coaches that I hated the most, or I don't like the word hate, the coaches that I didn't connect with the most were the ones who treated everybody the same. They didn't
yeah,
realize that, oh, well, I'm not from Scarborough. I'm from Coquitlam, British Columbia. I was raised a whole lot different, right? And connecting and knowing what that person is means you have to have conversation, has to be meaningful. You have to listen. Like we could go on and on and on. Again, it could be a
yeah,
3 hour
yeah, yeah,
episode, but we're
yeah.
aligned there. And I agree, man. And I thought when I was got my first teaching job here at my school, I've been here 21 years. I was
Wow.
full of piss and vinegar, and I coached like my high school coach, and and then I was like, that's not who I am, and then like it was a lot of yelling and a lot of like sleepless nights, and then I was just kind of, what am I doing, right? Like, are these guys having fun? Are they enjoying it? It's high school hoops, and so, and that's
Yeah,
that growth mindset. But I think what you're describing is to you, it's common practice. I my hope is that it would be more common practice amongst programs, but I'm not so sure. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
for
I
those
agree.
that are listening, tap in and level up because that's what's happening behind the scenes with your programs and a few others, right? So good on you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I
Amazing.
appreciate that. Thank you.
I
Thanks
know
for
you did,
recognizing.
of course, 100%. We got some good questions, and I can't wait to hear what kind of books you read. So, I know you read your email. Are you ready to roll with this?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready.
Okay. Let's go right to the kicks. All right. Did you have a favorite hoop shoe as a player?
Man, I'm always gonna go with Jordans because they're wide and I have big ass feet. They're comfortable
What
and
size are
they
you?
all 16,
Oh, you're 16.
16.
Okay. Oh, what
But
a
it's
grind.
wide,
A
you
grind
know.
to find
Yeah.
kicks, man. Woo.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's
Yeah.
a grind. Online does it. But Jordans, I'll always pick Jordans if I can. I'll always pick them because they're comfortable. I feel like there's an extra level of care that goes into building them, and the way they fit my foot and the way I can jump through them, land on them. Number one forever, Jordans, and not the novelty, put them in a box, like real basketball shoes,
Yeah.
you know?
Got you.
Yeah.
Nice. If you had the opportunity now, could be with buddies, could be with your family, could be with your wife, doesn't matter. Like you get to choose, get to go to a concert or two, and you have the best seat in the house. Who would you want to go see live? Maybe you've seen them already.
Um,
Maybe it's a repeat, maybe it's someone new. What do you got? Dead or alive, doesn't matter.
Bob
What's
Marley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, huge reggae fan. I can relate, and I think being in an inner city school at Cathedral, that was a culture that my
Yeah.
teammates really impressed upon me with, and I've always been a fan. I've always liked the lyrics. I've always liked the consciousness. I got to see last year all of his sons in Toronto in the concert together, and I wish that I could see him. But yeah, yeah, that's one concert I would love to go see. And I'm a huge concert guy. I love
Are you?
concerts.
Nice. Me
Yeah,
too. Love live
yeah,
music. Like
that's awesome.
if we get a
What?
date night, we're trying it's one of the things about Vancouver, like there's a nightclub scene, but we're well past those days. So it's like to
Yeah,
find just a nice bar that has good music, that's usually our choice, right? Is like because I really appreciate a skill of someone that I'm terrible at, like to see people
yeah.
singing in rhythm and playing instruments to me is like mind blowing, let alone, if you like the music or not. Do you know have you
I
met Barnaby yet? Barnaby Craddock?
no,
Nope. So the
no.
SFU coach was at Alberta for a long time.
Okay.
He just got out here and that tour was here, but I was out of town. He was like, "Yo, we got to go. Bring your wife. Like me and my wife are going. It's gonna be at the Commodore," and I missed it.
Yeah,
I
it was
missed it.
awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
It
I
was
bet it was
awesome.
really good. Just
Yeah,
good vibes all around.
yeah, everything has music. Everything I
Yeah.
do has a music background, and the
Yeah.
second type of music I love is deep
Yeah.
house, just deep house, just
Yeah.
good beats, European beats. Yeah,
Do you let the girls on aux before practice or at practice? You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
yeah, you let them.
always. I request it. I
What's your thoughts on
request it.
some of the stuff they're bumping? Are you good with it, or you just grin and bear it?
There's only a few here and there that are like, you guys listen to this shit, but
Yeah.
overall, it's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my girls. I have a very diverse team, though, right? Like,
Sure.
I have Arabs on my team. I have black girls on my team. I have white girls on my team. I have mixed girls on my team. I have mixed white. Like, I have a
Yeah.
very diverse group of team, and they listen to different things, and
Yeah.
their
Makes it fun.
combined playlist is awesome. Yeah, and they let me put a couple songs on there too, which is good.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Books or movies for you?
Always books, always
Okay.
books.
So
I,
drop a few all-timers for us. I know you got a few.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you two things. I'm gonna give you two things. I'm gonna give
Okay.
you a movie that I think everybody should watch.
Yes.
And the movie is a 2010 movie,
Okay.
and the name of it is called I Am.
I am.
Tom Shadyac.
Okay.
The movie answers the question, what is wrong with the world and what can we do about it?
Wow. Oh, I'm
And
I'm checking it out right here.
it's on YouTube. I think you can watch it. It's an
Okay.
amazing movie. It'll change your perspective on everything, unless you're already thinking like that. And it shows you, it interviews, it's a documentary, and it's very, very powerful in terms of getting a look at where we are. And it's valid today, even though it's 2010 made. What's wrong with the world and what can we do about it? It's a life-changing movie. If you haven't watched it, I
Okay.
highly recommend. When it comes to
On the
books,
list.
though, I'm a 2 book a day guy. I have a hack. It's an app called Blinkist that I've been using for a few years now. What this app does is condenses every nonfiction book ever written into a 12 to 15 minute listen,
Wait, wait,
and
wait,
they
wait, wait,
call
wait.
it
What's this called?
Blinkist, like
Yeah.
Blinkist. Um, Fun fact: it's an Austrian company, and to become a narrator, so it's like the old Cole's Notes things.
Sure.
It's like
Yeah, yeah.
that, but it's for nonfiction books. So any book that you want, it's on there. And I crush about 350 to 375 books a year. I know it's wild, but it's that morning routine, and I do 2 books in half an
Yeah.
hour. So you do the math, and it's good. I love books. So I can recommend probably hundreds and hundreds of them, but one that stuck with me the last couple of weeks, I want to
Dude,
recommend,
I'm
if I
on it. I'm
may.
on it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. So if there's one I can
Yeah,
recommend to our
please.
listeners, is it's very beneficial, I think, in today's world. It's called distancing.
Okay.
And I think we all need this in our life. We all need it in our life because we're so in everything that we do, right? So this book teaches you,
Ah,
when you're immersed and you focus on how you're supposed to defend your identity and your ego and all the things that you do in your present circumstances, right? It's telling you the solution is just distance. And you can distance in a bunch of ways. You can build your inner coach, the coach that we want for ourselves. You can step on a balcony and look down at your life. You can, so all these things of like temporarily distancing yourself from the situation can help bring calm, can help you bring a different spin on the situation, can help you see differently things from a different perspective. Like the old Jeff Bezos, right? When he was contemplating if he should do Amazon or not, he put himself into his 80-year-old self. And, what's he going to think when he's 80 about his life choices now? And, right. So there's different ways you can distance from your current situation so you can gain clarity and maybe a different perspective and help you deal with it. So, highly recommend. That's one that really stuck with me the last couple of weeks.
okay, man. You probably see me in my eyes wandering. I just ordered it on Amazon.
There you go.
I just legit
There you
ordered
go.
it.
That's awesome.
It'll be yeah, that looks like I mean people have recommended lots of books, but I usually try to take time to check it out. This looks phenomenal. And I'm not a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
reader myself, but kind of like coaching leadership books like that is
yeah.
I'm all in on that. And then I was wondering, I'm like, why is he pausing like that when he says distancing? But then you see the cover and you're like, ah, it's distancing. How great
Hmm.
leaders reframe to make better decisions. Awesome. There you go.
That's
Appreciate
it.
the reco,
That's,
man.
you're welcome, sir. You're
Amazing.
welcome.
Well done. Okay, if you're getting obviously okay, you're vegan, so we know where you could see I could see, and you're still hooping, you said. God bless you for that. If you do get a little munchy though, is there a bag of chips that you might dive into, like on a movie night with the fam, or like if you have a weak moment, what do you got?
Yeah, yeah, and there's weak moments. I mean, listen, there's no perfect human beings out there. If somebody says they are, they're lying to you. But it's like people not having problems. Get out of
Right?
here. There's problems all day, but
Yes,
you
sir.
can control it. But anyway, um, I don't eat chips. For some reason, they don't speak to me. But my wife
Okay.
and her family
Yes.
are the biggest, and this is a joke, right? It's a
Yeah.
joke that I constantly describe how they eat chips, because you'll go to one of their gatherings and there's like entrance chips. It's like a
Oh,
little bowl of, hey, welcome, to the gathering. And then there's like, pre-dinner chips, and then
like
there's
appetizers.
post-dinner chips, and then there's fireside chips, and then there's before the bed chips, and I'm exaggerating, right? But
Yes.
that's their thing,
It's
and they
next
love
level. Yeah.
chips. So my wife's answer would be Doritos or salt and vinegar. That would be her
Okay.
choice. So I'm gonna give you my wife's choice because
You know
they
what?
just don't attract me, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat a piece of cheesecake.
Fair. No, hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair. I get it. I get it.
And it's
I'm
heavy on the espressos, brother. Heavy on the
yeah.
espressos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love
All right.
espressos. Yeah.
So the Doritos, and then she likes the tangy, the salt and vinegar. Okay. I
That's
respect
it.
it. I respect
That's
it.
it. Thank you. I'll let her know.
The welcome chips, and I love it. One of my neighbors is like a connoisseur. So like anytime I'm at a store or something, getting groceries and I see a new flavor, I just grab it and give it to him. And like he'll come out if we're gathering and stuff, and he calls it. Does anybody want salad? So he'll mix two kinds of chips and he calls that salad, right? That's how much of
Amazing.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
two more questions for you, man. Amazing episode and
Sure.
loving it. If you could pick one or two historical figures or important people in your life, that you could have like a deep, good conversation over with a nice espresso and cheesecake, and not just surface level, like things that you want to discuss, like who would those people be?
You've learned me by now, so I would
Hmm.
love some time with the original mindset coach. The wisdom of stoicism and
Oh,
pressure tested leadership, and somebody that I can go back and forth on discipline and just handling your ego and teaching others and staying calm in the chaos. And the name Marcus Aurelius.
yes.
I would love to sit with the godfather of stoicism and just talk to him about some of the things of you're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man, like all kinds of things that he's taught us through his. I don't know if you're into stoicism, but I'm
Hmm.
huge into it. And yeah, I would love to sit with him. I think it's just like the old German guy, the Friedrich Nietzsche. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Friedrich
Hmm.
Nietzsche. Um, he's another guy that died before 1900, but his lessons and his teachings about what it takes to be a human to
Still
this day
relevant.
are relevant, right? And I'm sure you read his book,
Hmm.
Ecce Homo, but that's a good book. And Marcus Aurelius and all of his writings and all of his diaries and everything he left behind. I would love to talk to those guys to see how were you so smart so long ago?
Right? Yeah. Where
Why?
where did you where
Why?
did you grasp all that at that in that time of
Yeah,
life, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So those are the two guys I would like to hang with to see
Love it.
because it just fits my profile of human.
Yeah. Might have to be like a whole weekend retreat at the lake, just like 2 hours
Ooh,
wouldn't do it, like you'd have to, yeah,
yeah,
they'd take a long
yeah,
time to tap in.
for sure, for
So good.
sure.
Okay, last question, my guy. As you know, the basketball world seems really big, but it's really not. We find ourselves 171 episodes in with great humans, and we still have so many more stories to share. But when you think about your journey, your basketball hoops journey, all the people that you've connected that have influenced your life in one way or another, who's someone out there that would be just a fun conversation? You know my vibe, what I'm like, and who would be someone that would be willing to jump on that you think has a good story like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, there's three guys that I think of, and you know me, I'm strategic in my thinking. So if you want, yeah,
He knows who he is. I love it.
I think if you want a Canadian type of OG, respected coach that's done it at high school level, university level, NCAA level, national team level. Coach Mark Walton, I think, would be a great, great, great person to have as an OG type of Canadian coach that has done it all. He's still my mentor to this day. He's
Love it.
he's on my bench. He's in my practices. He's in my ear. He helps me and he continues to amaze me with the knowledge he has. I wish I could just download all that stuff at once from his brain.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that, Coach Mark Walton, and I know you said I got to deliver him, I can
Awesome. Love a good
to get
OG
him on.
story. You know this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Another guy that's been really good to me since I've come in the league and has spread a lot of wisdom to me while he was coaching, and ever since we stay in touch. AJ Sharma, and I don't think he's
Oh
been on, but he was
yeah.
a Humber women's coach for a long time. And that guy is closer to age to us, and he's same kind of vibe, and he
Hmm.
understands. He's a winner, man. He's a winner, and he understands what it takes, and
Hmm.
he's been able to do wonders with the women's program. So that's the two Canadians and the two guys that I think they haven't been on. I think that you could get some knowledge out of and share with the audience.
Love it.
And the third guy, I don't know if you do Americans, I'm not sure, but
Absolutely.
Gannon Baker. Gannon Baker should be on your podcast. That would be
I
great.
agree.
I
I
can make
agree.
all three introductions. You just let me know.
Amazing. So good.
Yeah,
I look forward to it. We'll make all three happen, man. And the way that
there you
you've
go.
talked about your high school coach, um, gives me a little bit of same vibes that the experience that I had, so that I know what that means a lot. Heard AJ's name thrown around many times, and obviously Gannon's a legend in the game, right? So those would be
Yeah,
fantastic. Listen, um, know that you're hyped up to do this and excited, but it is also a big chunk out of your day and your repetitions and whatever you're looking for. So we do really, really appreciate your time and sharing your story. Fantastic one. Last thoughts, reflections, or ideas before we let you go. I know you're a reflective guy. I know you're grateful for every day that you can have your Mihai moment in the dark and go through a couple books, but the floor is yours to just sort of wrap up the episode as we move on, and we appreciate your time once again.
yeah. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, thank you. I appreciate you. I know that I know who you are. I know what you're doing, and I was like, wow, that was very impressive to me. And then for you to be even mentioned Braveheart, that was our first go at it. That was my police retirement money, man. That's
Yeah.
where it
Oh,
all
yeah.
went, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we did with it. And it didn't go anywhere until it wasn't ready. The world wasn't
Oh,
ready
dude, if it
for it.
was
That we were,
2020, man, forget about it. You guys, that's why I said you guys are ahead of your. I was like, what is
yeah.
going on? I've never seen anything like this before. This is crazy. Like, anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, I could go
we
on
were
forever.
ahead.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Hmm.
all that. Parting words is listen. We hear a lot in sports, and we hear a lot in hoops, and we hear a lot of people say have a better attitude and control your attitude. But I believe that your attitude can be controlled in situations, and I
Hmm.
think your attitude really, really, really shows how good you are mentally when it comes to disappointments. How do you react? What happens? Are you do you get down? Or do you fight through? How do you react when fear comes around? Do you understand that it's not real? Do you understand that it's fake? And you plow through and you hit it. How do you react when there's failures? Because that's where we get better. So if you're stuck in them and you're crying about them and you're sitting in the corner, sucking your thumb and crying, well, guess what? You're not going to make it too far, right? Um, problems, problems, right? We all have them is you just got to be able to differentiate if it's something you can do about it or if it's a fact of life. And if there's something you can do about it, do it, fix the problem. Or if there's nothing you can do about it, it's a fact of life, so live with it and deal with it. Right. So either way, you should be able to understand that. And last thing, it's change. It's the only constant in life. It's the only thing that keeps coming at us on a day-to-day basis. And most people don't like change unless they create it themselves. And even then, some people are doubtful, but that's the only consistent thing you have in your life. So control those five things, control your emotions, control your reactions, and you're winning at life and sport.
Woo! Hot damn, folks. Uh, an hour and a bit here. If you listen to this episode and there was nothing you took away, well, then that is a lost cause for you, and you need to go back and check it out. So many golden nuggets with just a fantastic human being who's impacting his own little ecosystem every single day. Also, an open book. He said it himself. Reach out, give him a follow, send him a DM. You want resources, a gentleman who's learned from others and is willing to share his knowledge. So, a fantastic episode. All the best to you. I know the men's nationals are out at VIU, so when you guys make it, we won't see you. The women's are where? Is it Durham? No, it's
Dawson,
Dawson. Who's
Dawson,
hosting?
yeah,
I looked earlier
Dawson,
today.
Dawson, yeah,
Dawson,
Dawson's
right.
hosting, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Dawson. Thanks for letting us beat you in the 98 final when we were at Langara. But anyways, that's a whole other story. Continued success
Hall
to
of
you, my
Famer. You're a
friend.
Hall of Famer, brother. You're a Hall
Yeah.
of Famer.
Hey, one thing I appreciate this podcast is not only do I get to meet great new people, but I get to make new friends, man. And much respect to you when you're out west, or if you ever find yourself out here, reach out. Let's keep in touch, and all the success to you, your family, your program, and keep changing the lives of young people in our world. We need people who think the way you do, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep doing the good work, baby. Your word's spreading. It's
Trying
spreading. So I
trying our
appreciate you.
best. Episode 171, an absolute banger. We will see you on the next one.